Thank you, Philip. So, this afternoon, I was welcoming some of our 3-year-olds who will be joining us next year in Kinder, or as I call them, VCE 2032. And knowing I was coming here tonight, I was trying to imagine what they will be like in year 12, and I couldn't. And I've been trying to imagine what you were like in Kinder, and I couldn't, because you are who you are, and you are adults, and you are graduates. And VCE 2017, you have made it to the end. And when I think about what sort of year you are, what cohort you are, as Avi said earlier, you are a pretty good bunch. You are people who clearly care for each other, you care for the school, and you've made history in 2 particular respects. One of which is, this is the first year where we ended year 12 in a dignified way. And some will say that's because you couldn't be organized enough to create any fun stuff. But I think it's because you're just inherently good, and I'm going to stick with that version. And the other way in which you have made history is this. As we know, the old African proverb says, it takes a village to raise a child. And therefore, you are the most well-risen cohort we've ever had. Now, I've had the honor of making a speech like this now quite a few times. And every time I say that we're going through a period of change, you personally and the world itself. And I think tonight I want to say that only now are we beginning to realize just how vast and just how unprecedented is the change that will be wrought by technology in the next decades. In the 15th century, printing allowed ideas to be exchanged in ways never before, and that led to the Reformation, and that led to liberalism, and that led to democracy. And who knows what will be the consequence of a technology that allows ideas to be spread instantly across the globe, either as a hashtag or a scholarly article or anything in between. And it was in the 18th century that the Industrial Revolution changed our concept of how we work and the economy of the world. And who knows what robotics and AI and machine learning will do to every job that we can possibly imagine in the future. And in the 20th century, the telephone changed the nature of communication and hence changed what it means to be part of a community which was no longer defined by geography. And now, when we can have an instant and personal connection with literally everybody else in the world, it's going to change the nature of what we mean by community, what we mean by a country, and in a sense, how we define ourselves. So in an era of such unimaginable and unprecedented change, you need to keep yourself grounded. Or to put it another way, what is it that you can take from Mount Scopus into your future? And I would suggest that despite all this change, there is still a need, as there always is, for at least 3 things. A need for understanding, a need for purpose and meaning, and a need for belonging. Now, I hope that Scopus has not only taught you how to pass exams, but taught you how to learn. And I hope, despite the experience of VCE, you have a desire to learn. And in an era of fake news, in an era of so much information, some of it valid, some of it not, it's more important than ever to be able to understand, to analyze, to be critical about what people are telling you. In an age where the internet forces us into ever narrower echo chambers of people who just think the same as we do, it's more important than ever to learn how to listen to other voices, to consider other opinions, to reflect on your own. And when we talk about a need for purpose, humanity has an intrinsic psychological craving for some sense of meaning in one's life. And now is the time. Now is the time for each of you to decide what you want to be part of, how you can be greater than who you are by being part of a cause that is greater than you, how you can define your worth not by how much you have, but by how much you give, and how you can choose yourself a path and a destination, so that even if your future takes twists and turns, you always remain focused on a goal that is worthwhile, a goal that you define as something right for you. And when we talk about the need to belong, you know, man is an essentially gregarious creature. We've conquered the world because we have the ability to collaborate and to share ideas. And we need to continue to be part of some sort of community which we can feel that we belong. Each one of us comes with 2 communities already given to us for free. We are citizens of Australia. To be a citizen is not just to have an inconvenience for our parliamentarians right now, but it means to show solidarity with other people around us, with communities strong and weak, and to work together to make a great country even better. And of course, we are also part of the Jewish world. That is a community which we are gifted. And we have the opportunity and the responsibility to be part of that Jewish world, to build the Jewish future, to connect to Jewish learning and to Jewish values, and especially to connect to the miracle of our age, which is the rebirth of the State of Israel. In the Sedra that we read just a couple of days ago, which was called Vayetze, and starts with the idea of leaving, which is particularly appropriate for tonight. And the first verse says, Vayetze Yaakov mi Beersheva vayelech Harana. Yaakov, Jacob, our patriarch, left Beersheva and he went to Haran. And Rashi asks a question. He says, if we're told that he went to Haran, why do we need also to be told that he left Beersheva? And Rashi answers like this, that when a righteous person leaves a place, his departure is felt. Because when he leaves, there's a reduction in the splendor, in the luster, in the beauty of the place. Rashi is telling us that beauty is not defined by ornate buildings and a wonderful urban environment. Beauty is defined by the integrity and the uprightness of the people who live in a place. So you're leaving Mount Scopus, and yes, your departure is felt. It leaves a mark. True, we'll have year 11 taking your place, but they're not the same. They're not quite as good. And one day those little 3-year-olds will be in your place as well, and they'll be different as well. But from your point of view, there's another part to the message. The message is, wherever a righteous person goes, they make that difference. They bring those qualities to the place where they find themselves. It's customary on an occasion like this to talk about changing the world. And maybe some of you will. But to be honest, that's a pretty lofty aspiration, and sometimes it's unrealistic. But my blessing to you is that you change at least the place around you. That you, with your integrity and your beliefs and your purpose, change your family, your community, your environment. And may it be, where there is ugliness, may you bring beauty. Where there is gloom, may you bring splendor. And where there is darkness, may you bring light. Thank you very much.